a pandemic. We are going through a lot right now in our society, and now more than ever, we have to learn how to really take care of ourselves. I am Vasavi Kumar. I am so honored and grateful to be here today. And today, I'm going to be talking about setting yourself up to thrive. I like to use simple, actionable steps because let's be real, there's a lot of information out there, and we can feel like we don't know where to begin, right? There's like, if you go on Instagram, it's like, do this. And if you go on Facebook, it's like, do this. And then, let's just be real. When we go to Google, we can just go down the rabbit hole of how to take care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually. There are just so many different things that we can do. I am someone, when I work with my clients, it's always about what is the next best step that we can take to feel good on the inside, because when we feel good, we do good. And so we do well. I'm going to go get right into it today because I know we have 30 minutes. So I'm just going to make sure, because I want to make sure that we stay on track. So this is me, Vasavi Kumar. I'm the founder of the Mind Your Own Business membership community. I work with women in business, not only on their business, first and foremost with their mindset. I'm also a licensed therapist here in the state of Texas, and I'm the host of the Being Human with Vasavi podcast. So if you're not subscribed, if you are looking for something new to listen to, definitely subscribe to and check out the Being Human with Vasavi podcast. I have been in business as a licensed therapist and a mindset coach for the past 10 years. And I'm super excited to be here because as a woman in business, the one thing that I know that has definitely been not only my own challenge, because when you start your own business, it's like the most ultimate personal development protocol, right? You are up against so much when you put yourself out there in business. And so when I work with my clients, the number one thing that we work on is what's going on up here, what's going on in here. When we are aligned with ourselves, everything just works, right? When we feel good mentally, when we feel good emotionally, when we're taking care of ourselves, life just works. And what I mean by that is this: even when things around us are chaotic, we can still have a sense of calm and groundedness that we come back to. So no matter what is going on around us, like right now, my ultimate mission in life is to make sure that you are taken care of, that you feel solid and grounded within, because you don't want to jump in the fire, right? Like there could be anything going on around you, but the ultimate goal is to feel good, grounded, and connected with yourself first and foremost. So I want to start off by saying this: you're resilient. Okay. We are women. We we're amazing. We are resilient. And I want you to hear this. You are resilient, right? You've had your share of difficult moments, but what makes you resilient, what makes you the amazing woman that you are, is that you're open to learning your lessons and you trust that you're going to come out a better and stronger person. You would not be here today on a Saturday listening in. I mean, how many Zoom conferences have we had over the past year, right? Like you're here, you're showing up. It's because you are committed to learning. You are committed to being your best self. So I want to first start off by saying that you are a resilient person. You're also a very creative human being, right? You have a ton of ideas. And when it comes down to it, you can create anything out of nothing. One of the things, I mean, I love working with my clients on a lot of things, but one of the things that I absolutely love working on with my clients is really taking their ideas and doing a brain dump, right? And if you haven't done a brain dump, I highly recommend it. I have tons of ideas all the time. And every single Sunday I sit and I have this huge notebook that I use, and I just put down all my ideas, because this is like what I have to do for my own mental health. And this is what I recommend with my clients. It's like, get it out of here and put it out on paper so you can see it, right? So that's just a little quick actionable step you can take right now. If you are a woman in business, or even if you're not a woman in business, but you have a ton of to-do things in your head, you're like, oh, I have to do this, this, and this. Write it out on paper. Do not keep it up here, because what I have found is when we keep stuff in our heads, everything can seem urgent. And what's up here in our heads can seem like, oh, I got to get it done right now. It really doesn't. So take your ideas, put them out on paper, and then discern which of those things really need to be prioritized, right? Because not everything is an emergency. And you're resourceful, right? You can solve just about anything. But let's face it, this pandemic has thrown us for a loop, right? There's just so much going on right now. We are in the most crucial period that we've ever been in our society, in our culture. But what I know to be true about every single woman that I've ever worked with is that they are resilient, creative, and resourceful. And so I'm starting off by saying this because I think as women, we can look at everything that is wrong, right? I mean, I don't know about you. I can walk into my house and like I'll be doing one thing, but I'll be scanning to see like, is this closet shut or that pillow's out of sorts? I need to adjust that. Like we are just like we are wired to just look at what's not working and always want to focus on what's not working. But I wanted to start off by saying that you are all of these beautiful things. You are resourceful, you are resilient, and you are creative because, like I said, it is very easy to look at ourselves and be like, there's something wrong with me. There is nothing wrong. Absolutely. There is nothing wrong, but are there areas of improvement? Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that we have to look at our strengths, and then where we see any gaps in our life, we have to do what we got to do to close up those power leakages. And I'm going to get into what a power leakage is. It's one of my favorite phrases and terms to use with my clients. And I think when we look at our power leakages, that's when we really regain power in our lives in a time, especially like this, when we are going through so much chaos. There's so much around us. So you are resilient, you are creative, and you are resourceful, and you are primed to thrive. Okay. And I absolutely love this quote: when you cannot control, you create. And I actually, when you cannot control, you create. This is something that I've had to learn the hard way. I'm going to be very transparent with y'all because um, one of the things that I think my clients love about me and the reason why we have such good relationships is that I am very transparent. A year and a half ago, I actually had to check myself into rehab for drug and alcohol addiction, and I got sober. So I'm over a year and a half sober now, by the grace of God, and I am here. And one of the things that I had to learn really the hard way and quickly was that there was a lot in my life that I did not have control over when I was going through my own recovery process. And I remember talking to my mother, and I was just saying to her, like, I have to start my business back up again. I have to, start taking care of myself. Like, I don't even know where to begin. So in a way, I was kind of in my own quarantine when I was in recovery. That's why when quarantine actually happened, I was kind of used to it already. I'd had to isolate and really have to spend alone time with myself. And my mother said this to me. She said, when you cannot control certain things in your life, like when you feel like you don't have control, she goes, this is the perfect opportunity to create. And I know that may seem a little counterintuitive, right? It's like, well, how can I create amidst chaos? And what I really want you to know, because I have lived this, and this is what I'm speaking from personal experience and the work that I do with my clients, is like, there is always an opportunity for us to better ourselves. And oftentimes what we do is we look at everything that we don't have control over, and we feel even more powerless, and we feel even more helpless. And so what I want to say is, I'm going to show you where in your life you can create whatever it is that you want by focusing on 3 areas. So let's be honest, you are primed to thrive, right? I started off by saying you are resourceful, you are creative, you are resilient, and you are primed to thrive. But let's just be real here. Where are you still barely surviving in your life? I can't see what's going on in the chat here. I wish I could, but I'd love for you to just admit it and be honest about it, because I guarantee you it's pretty much similar to what other people are going through right now. I will tell you where I was barely surviving in my life. I turned 38 in May, and I realized that, like, I hadn't been moving my body as much. I hadn't been taking care of myself physically as much, right? Financially, I was doing great again. Mentally, emotionally, I was feeling great. But physically, I noticed that I'd become kind of stagnant. So I started working out with a personal trainer in May, started walking again. I have a dog. I was just like, I need to get moving because I was going stir crazy. And so that's where I was barely surviving in my life. And this is not the time to judge ourselves. This is not the time to be like, oh my God, I'm doing horribly in life. It's just a time to be rigorously honest with ourselves, right? Like, okay, great. I'm doing this well. I'm doing this well. Where in my life do I need to close up the gaps? Right? Because that's really taking that leap from surviving to thriving. Um, it's not about being perfect. It's really just about going from barely surviving, taking those action steps one day at a time, step by step by step, and being consistent. I would rather have you do one thing consistently for the next 90 days than trying to change your whole life, right? I love a lot of the advice that we heard from the doctors before, like just even if it's okay, I'm going to start my day with 30 ounces of water with a little lemon and pink sea salt, right? Like, even if it's something like that small, but it's so significant because it is still an act of self-love. It is still one thing that you're going to do every single day consistently, and then building on top of that. Don't try to change everything all at once. So I'm gonna say this again. If you want to take a snapshot of this, and if you want to share it on Instagram, my handle is my name is Vasavi. That's literally my Instagram handle. It's mine because people would always ask like, "What's your name?" And so I'm like, "Yeah, my name is Vasavi." So that's me on Instagram. My name is Vasavi, and so yeah, feel free to take a snapshot of this because it's such a good reminder when you feel like you have no control. That is the absolute best time to create. So here are the top 3 areas that we're going to focus on today: your mental health, your emotional health, and your financial health. I've also put my Instagram handle there if you want to go ahead and follow me, DM me after this. I respond to all my messages. I definitely want to stay in communication with you if there's anything that I'm sharing with you that resonates with you. So these are the top 3 areas we're going to focus on. I recently read a statistic from SAMHSA, the Society of Mental Health Association, that they said 1 out of every 5 women suffer from depression and anxiety. Mental health challenges is something that I am not a stranger to. So I just want you to know that that is why I'm focusing on this. A lot of times we think we need to change everything around us, and I take the complete opposite approach. While I think that it's important to, make sure our outside is like, in order, we really ignore a lot of what's going on inside. And so that's why I'm focusing on these 3 areas. So mental health, okay? So here are the 3 steps that, they're not 3 steps, they're 3 suggestions that I want to give, okay? And they may seem a little out of the box, but then again, so am I. And I'm sharing what has worked for me. Give me 1 second. It looks like I'm not able to share my, oh my God, here we are. I've just been talking and you guys have not been able to see my screen. Sorry about that. Okay. I think, okay, hopefully you guys can see the screen now. Okay, great. Madeline just sent me a text. Madeline, if you're listening to this, just let me know if you can see my screen, but I'm almost positive you can see it now. So here are the top 3 areas that we're going to focus on. Okay, awesome. Sorry about that, y'all. And you know what? I do have the slides for this. So I will let you guys have these slides so you can just kind of see what I was saying. And one of the things that I did say, I actually want to, this was a quote that I was saying: when you feel like you have no control, that's the best time to create. So snapshot this, tag me in this on Instagram. My name is Vasavi. It's so important that we just remember that, remember that next time you feel like things are just not in your control, like what can I actually create in my life? Because you do have the power to create anything in your life. I apologize for my screen not being shared. I have no idea what happened there, but you guys will have these slides afterwards. Okay, so I do this with my clients every single time they are up against something. I have them track their thoughts, and I give you bonus points for saying them out loud. Here's the thing: we have a constant inner dialogue in our head at all times. And if we do not pay attention to the thoughts in our head, it will run us, right? That incessant chatter in our head. Now, here's the thing: there's nothing to judge about these thoughts. This is not about looking at our thoughts and judging our thoughts. Our mind is already doing that, constantly telling us what we need to do, what we shouldn't do, how we're not doing good enough. That is not the goal of this exercise, but I do want you to become aware of the thoughts that I want you to become aware of the thoughts that you're thinking. So start tracking your thoughts, whether it's you write them out, and that may be a little cumbersome. And that's why I really suggest saying them out loud, because here's what I know to be true. When you say what you're thinking to yourself out loud, you can separate yourself from your thoughts. You have a mind, but you are not your mind. You have thoughts, but you are not your thoughts. Okay. So your mind will be telling you like, I'm not good enough. I can't figure this out, blah, blah, blah. Right. Like y'all know the incessant chatter in our head. Say them out loud, because when you say it out loud, you're like, what is this? Like, why am I saying this to myself? Right. You would never talk to a friend the way you talk to yourself. Right. We are so quick to be polite and kind to other people. We need to extend that same kindness and compassion to ourselves. So we're talking about setting yourself up to thrive. And the first way to do that is to really get your mental health in check. It's the reason why I started my membership community, Mind Your Own Business, right? Mindset first. So we have to get our mindset in check. We have to focus on our mental health to handle our biz. And your biz can be anything, right? Your business can be your financial health, your relationships, your actual business. But in order to have our life work, we really have to start focusing on what are the thoughts that we're thinking, and not to overthink those thoughts, but really just start to track, how are we speaking to ourselves, right? What is that dialogue? Are we being kind to ourselves? Are we being encouraging to ourselves, right? Because you have to be your best cheerleader. You have to, when you're by yourself and you're it's just you and you really have to start paying attention to what you're saying to yourself, because it has so much power over you if you don't distinguish the thoughts that you want to focus on versus the thoughts that are hindering you. So the second simple action step that I want to give you, and I know it may seem like, okay, Vasavi, we know we have to move every single day. Like, yes, we do. We have to move every day. And that's why I put it on here, because like I said, I'm not about overcomplicating anything. It's funny. I just posted this on my Instagram, and I actually want to share this with you. I have not said an unkind word about my body in 5 months. Okay. And like, I have not said I'm like the queen of like, oh my God, like, look at this, like, look at this on my body. Look at, like, I do that. Like, I do that to myself. And what I noticed yesterday was, and I share about this on Instagram, ever since I started paying attention to moving my body consistently, right? I walk every day. I just started taking tennis lessons again, because I was a solid JV player in high school. And I started working out with a personal trainer. Ever since I've started to pay attention to my own body, and really paying attention to the areas of my life where I felt like I was leaking power, which is why the third action step is close up those power leakages. It's funny what happens when we start to pay attention to the areas of our life that we've been avoiding. Our self-esteem goes up. We start to feel like, okay, you know what? It's not about perfection. At least I'm taking action on it. At least I'm moving forward, right? And that's really what I want you to walk away in terms of your mental health. What are the things in your life that you're not doing? Because the areas of your life where you're leaking power, whether it's removing those toxic friends from your life, maybe it's spending too much time on social media, maybe you haven't been eating well, those power leakages, the minute you start to take action every single day consistently and you start to close up those power leakages, guess what? You get your power back. You're not seeping power. And when you get your power back, guess what? Your self-esteem goes up. You're no longer telling yourself, oh, I should be doing this, I shouldn't be doing this. You start to feel good about yourself because you're taking the necessary actions for you to close up those power leakages in your life. So track your thoughts, really start to pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. Say them out loud. I know you may think you sound crazy doing that, but it's fine. I'm in the car and I'll have dialogue with myself. Like, even when I'm trying to figure out a solution to a problem, I will literally ask myself the question out loud, so I can be in dialogue with myself, so it's not just all up here, because we have so many thoughts every single day. I want to make sure we're good with time. Okay, so next is your emotional health. I cannot emphasize this enough. You've got to connect with others who are going through same but different experiences. This is what I love about my membership community, the Mind Your Own Business membership community. And I'm going to give you information at the end. If you choose to join, I'm going to let you know what you get when you join. And if community is something that you're seeking right now and support, then I definitely would love for you to join. And I know that, I think I'm giving a month membership to my membership community. So hopefully one of you will be a member soon. as a giveaway. And the number one thing that has really helped, I know, the women that I work with, is to be able to connect with one another. Have you ever found that just talking it out with someone else, maybe they're not going through it, right? Maybe the people in your life aren't going through exactly what you're going through, but it just helps to talk it out loud. And we as women are trained to be strong and hold it all together and keep it all together for everybody. But who's holding us up? Right? Who's holding us up? And so it is so important that you connect with others who are going through the same but different experiences. Learn about your emotions, right? So I always say head, heart, repeat, right? So I talked about in mental health to track your thoughts. Once you do that, go down to your heart, breathe, lay on the floor if you have to. I do this when I'm feeling overwhelmed. I just literally lay on the floor and I put my right hand on my heart, my left hand on my belly. And I just ask myself, what am I feeling right now? Am I anxious? Am I happy? Am I worried about something? Right? So really start to learn about what you're feeling and how you're feeling without judging it. And one of the best ways to do that is to spend quality time with yourself. Like take yourself out on a date, but not just once a week, every single day. One of the things that I had to really learn in my own life was to be alone. To be alone. I'm single. I'm not in a relationship anymore, and I had to learn how to be alone, how to really enjoy, not only how to be alone, but how to enjoy being alone with myself. And that was huge for my emotional health. The best thing that you could ever do, whether you're in a relationship or not, that doesn't matter, is to take that time to really get to know yourself. Find out what you want. What do you like? What do you feel like doing today? Really develop that solid as a rock relationship with yourself. My tagline for my business is when you know yourself, you can be, do, and create anything that you want. So I'm going to emphasize over and over again to really learn to take that time and spend that quality time with yourself. I'm getting warnings here that I got to wrap up soon. So, and then lastly, your financial health, budget. I really start to look at the areas of your life. If you've been hit hard by the pandemic, first of all, I want to say I'm so sorry, because I know that it has not been easy for many people. And so I'm going to recommend, really start to look at where are you spending money, where you really don't need to be spending right now, on the things that aren't really adding value in your life, right? Because it's kind of counterintuitive. I'm telling you to budget, but I'm also saying to start that business and invest in your growth. You are your greatest asset. You are your greatest asset. So take a look at where are you spending money right now that isn't really bettering your life mentally, emotionally, professionally. And if you've been, listen, if there's anything that you walk away from this, I have been an entrepreneur for the past 10 years. If you have an idea right now and you're like, I really would love to start that business. I would really love to turn that hobby and that idea into something that brings in some extra income. Now is the best time to do that. Start that business, invest in your growth, work with a business coach, read those books, join those business webinars. Like I said, you are your greatest asset. And so now we are in the most perfect time possible to really start to look inwards, right? A lot of people have been like, oh yeah, this has been awful. And it has been on so many levels, but on a spiritual level, on a mental and emotional level, we have been given the opportunity to really turn inwards and ask ourselves, what do I want? Who am I? Who am I right now? Who am I when I'm all by myself? Do I like myself? Do I want to be with myself, right? That's what this pandemic has really brought up for people, is confronting themselves, right? Their mental health, their emotional health, and their financial health. I just want to be mindful of time real quick. Okay. I have a tendency to go over. So I just want to ask you a quick question. What do you want to create in the next 6 months? Jot that down. Where do you want to be in the next 6 months? We don't often think ahead, but I'm inviting you to really think ahead. I know right now it can feel very paralyzing with everything going on, but what do you want to create in the next 6 months? And are you ready to step into your power? I'm sorry, I said into your power. I meant to say your power. Are you done playing small? Because you deserve to be great. You were destined for greatness. You were put here to do amazing things in your life. And are you done being the only thing standing in your way? I got to say this, you have you have everything you need right now inside of you to start that business, walk away from that relationship, start that workout routine, write that book. You literally have everything you need right inside of you to start today, whatever it is you want to do. And do you feel like you have a support system to help you thrive in life and business? Um, I invest a lot of money in my mental, emotional, physical health. I've already told you that I work with a personal trainer. I have a tennis coach. I have a business coach. I have a team that supports me in my business. I wouldn't be where I am today without the support of like-minded women who have really helped me thrive in my life and business. Like, done are the days where we think that we have to do everything by ourselves. It's not possible. And it is absolutely going to hinder you to get from where you are right now to where you want to be. So I want to invite you into my Mind Your Own Business membership community. Like I said, I am doing a giveaway for 30 days for one lucky winner. And this is the community for women who want to create a values-driven life and business without sacrificing your soul and your sanity. That's the kicker here, right? Like, we can have anything that we want. We can create a life and a business that is values driven, and we do not have to sacrifice ourselves. We do not have to abandon ourselves. We do not have to burn out. There is a way that we can create our own life and our own business and do it in a way that is aligned with who we are and what we want and what we stand for and what matters the most to us. So this community is for women who are service-based entrepreneurs. For example, coaches, therapists, healers. If you feel called to be of service and you want to get paid to help others, if you love my podcast, which if you haven't listened to, that's totally fine, you will. Being Human with Vasavi is the name of the podcast. If you resonate with my content on Instagram, if you're tired of settling in your career and relationships, if you're tired of saying to yourself, I'll worry about this later, or I got too much going on, right? If you desire a complete up-leveling of your mental, physical, financial, emotional, and spiritual life, then this community is for you. And probably the most important thing is that if you are coachable, if you seek guidance and you want to be a part of a community where you feel gotten, right? We all, at the end of the day, as human beings, we want to feel seen, we want to feel heard, and we want to feel understood. And if you're looking for just a simple, actionable plan to start or grow your business and really focus on your mental health, your emotional health, and not have to sacrifice your soul and your sanity. These are just a few of the benefits that you'll receive. Not just, not only are you a part of a community, I host 3 calls a month, a mindset coaching call, a business coaching call, and community circle. Actually, next Saturday, I believe. Next Saturday, a week from today, I'm doing a co-working and planning session for 2021. So this is for all the members in my community right now. They have a lot of projects that they want to get, taking action on, but they're not really spending the time to focus on it. I'm like, all right, we're all getting together in the morning, October 31st, virtually, and from 11 to 2, and we're going to sit, we're going to look at what we need to get done. We're going to go get it done, right? Because that's really the thing. When you mind your own business, when you really just focus on yourself and your priorities, and you get rid of all the other things in your life that do not really add value to your growth, you will thrive. And I want to say this, right? It is never too late. It is absolutely never too late. You are not too old. You are not too young. You are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. And it is never too late to reinvent your life. It is never too late to thrive, because when you have focus, when you say, you know what, I don't care about anything else, I'm going to focus on what I need to do. When you have focus, you have momentum. So it is not too late. It is never too late. You'll also get, there's just a lot of information here. I'm going to send you to the link where you can join if you'd like to. We have private groups. I have a lot of featured experts that come on for business and for mindset, relationships, and direct access to me. One of the things that I love doing is being available to my members. This is not just a place where you come and you're like, okay, you never see me. I'm a part of my members' lives. I want to know what's going on. I'm here. This is my mission. This is what I do all day, every day. And I'm grateful to be able to do it. So this is the membership plan. It's a monthly plan. It's $249.99 a month. As a therapist, I'll tell you this, that is the cost of less than 2 therapy sessions a month. So, typically a therapy session is $150, but you get so much more. And I'm not saying don't go to therapy. Therapy is definitely a very good thing. But if you're looking for a community, if you resonate with my style, if you enjoy today's presentation, if you know that it's time for you to really start that business, grow that business, focus on yourself, have a solid sounding board of women to connect with, then I want to invite you to join the Mind Your Own Business membership community. There's no long-term commitment. You can cancel anytime with 14 days notice. So try it out. It's completely up to you. It's a great way to start the new year. I want to say thank you so much for joining me today on today's presentation. I'd love to connect with you offline. So make sure you go ahead and follow me on Instagram at my name is Vasavi. Please send me a DM. Let me know if you enjoyed the conversation that we just had today. I know it's like a one-way conversation, but please let me know any takeaways that you got, any ahas, and just know that I am here for you. And you can do anything that you want, absolutely anything that you want in life. All you got to do is focus on yourself and believe in yourself. And I just want you to know that I believe in you. So thank you so much for listening today. And let me see if we have any questions. Okay, awesome. So,